Welcome to the Nagual Zone. My name is Anaam. A while ago, I did a video titled The Difference Between Gurus and Benefactors. Link is coming up now. Go ahead and check it out. There's a very interesting comment there by a user called Michael Knott. Says, "Hi Anaam, I'd like to hear your thoughts on Toltec apprenticeships. My understanding is that they would be selected by omens and a very specific energetic configuration, which translates as personality, but is perceivable to the seer as a stalker slash dreamer slash man of action slash man behind the scenes, etc. The apprentices would apparently be selected to accommodate the sorcerer's explanation. Don Juan also mentioned that those who volunteered to join the Toltec path were like gourds that, when filled, would burst under the pressure. So I'm curious why you take on apprentices in the way you do. Is the sorcerer's explanation valid, or was it a teaching tool only for Castaneda? Also, any information that you have about 5G would be welcome. So we're dealing with two different topics here, very radically different topics. If the natural human frequency is corrupted or manipulated, will it have a deleterious effect on everyone, sorcerers and normal folks? Thank you for your time and energy. Walk in freedom." Great, 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 great. So all the points that Michael Knott makes here are very valid. All valid points. You can't argue with them because they are accurate. Now, they are accurate for a certain time period, especially the apprentice section, obviously. The question about the apprentices, the time period in the Crow's days and Castaneda's days, and they were the days of incredible women like Taisha Abilar and all these guys, his Carlos's the three witches, all of that. And then Don Juan's coterie, he had, Florinda was in there. Incredible warriors. They don't exist now. So first of all, you got to remember it's time specific. The ways and means of selecting apprentices, especially since Carlos Castaneda chose to, I think it was around the 80s time when he had a specific event happen to him, which he described as the Nagual woman reappearing after how many years of being in some other place. Now, that is embellished narrative, in my opinion. However, the result of it was that he started teaching to the public, or at least teaching the Toltec way as he understood it, to not just any, people who could. He started giving workshops, by the way, as well. So the question, when we bring Castaneda into it, well, he himself was also doing something similar, right? So the point being, the time was already changing, even by the 80s. Castaneda had his training in the 60s, the late 60s, I believe. And those times were very different than even the 80s. Now you can imagine how different of a time we live in now. People in the 80s, Carlos Castaneda wouldn't even recognize the world he would be living in if he was alive now. Do you see what I mean? Maybe he would. I'm putting words, maybe he would. Nowadays, because of the internet, the way we communicate, the way we make ourselves available to each other has radically changed. One fell swoop called the internet has totally changed human communication. Make no mistake about that. When I was growing up, there was no way to instantly communicate with someone, instantly communicate with hundreds. In some instances, some YouTubers instantly, within an hour, to communicate with literally millions of people. In the 80s, anyone couldn't just start doing that. You either had to own a TV station or be a huge celebrity. And even then, you had to go to the media, then they would publish an article or an interview, or you have a TV. You know what I mean? So, so times have changed radically. That should already answer the question. However, let's move on to the concern that apprentices, the crow said the apprentices who volunteer are like broken gourds and all that. Now, I completely disagree with that because it's hard to know the context. Remember that the crow had a conversation with Castaneda. Castaneda wrote it down as notes, right? Then those notes, he would sit and compile them, order them, put them together. He would spend hours doing that. Then he would select out of those conversations which bits he thought would be relevant to the flow of the current book he was writing. Do you see what I mean? So even though it appears to us as if we are really there and Don Juan is almost talking to us, or we are really looking into somehow the scene, a movie scene where Carlos and the crow are talking, and it's really not like that. It is an author. Carlos Castaneda sat down. Sometimes it took him months and even a year to put all that into book form. He himself, even in a book, one of the books, he says that he wasn't just presenting everything ad hoc in the books. You get the point. So we don't know the real context behind what the crow said there. We could argue that, well, it's completely clear what he was saying, people who volunteer are just... Now, that to me is not right. You know why? First of all, because when you know the language of life, omens cease being some kind of special deal, some kind of, oh my God, some rare occurrence, some special falling star in the sky, or I don't know whatever, cat going under the ladder or some stupid shit like that. You are constantly just conversing and you're in the flow. You're in the flow of where if life whispers in my ear, take a left, I'll take a left. Well, left would be that way. You get me? I don't have to wait for omens. Oh, as I was walking by in the park, suddenly a solar eclipse happened, and now I know that I should take on another apprentice. It doesn't work like that. That's just not how it works. Life is constantly talking to us, and if we know the language of life, we can simply steer ourselves seamlessly. So you're not, like in video game terms, you're not waiting for the loading screen. It's a seamless experience. I've been a gamer all my life, really. So, if you are into video games, you'll know what loading screens are and what a seamless transition is. Nowadays, whenever someone approaches me with an interest in apprenticeship, I make it a point to see them first. And also, I myself have some, minor... I don't just go out. You will never see a website with a fancy landing page and sign up for Anaam's Apprenticeships and get 2 months free if you pay 5 months, whatever, all these Americanized style of selling. You'll never find that, because that's not the point. In fact, I make it difficult for people to find me. Have you ever noticed that in the videos or in the video description, I never directly give any contact details? Do you think that's just because I keep forgetting? No. I know people want to contact me, but peppered throughout the comments randomly is my email. So someone who is genuinely interested will have to actually troll through the comments of a lot of my videos before they happen to come across my email. First barrier. So you would have to really want to get in touch with me to actually want to do that, right? I'm already setting up omens. Do you see how that works? I'm not at the mercy of some kind of weird understanding of omens, which the average person has, which is very close to superstition, and that has no place in a warrior's life. Secondly, there is a cost. It's not free. That immediately puts a barrier right there. If you don't have the consciousness of fair exchange, you cannot qualify for an apprenticeship. Just can't do it. So that person, first of all, has to figure out how to get in touch with me. Secondly, they have to have a consciousness that says nothing in life is going to come for free. I need to pay for this. I would like to pay for this. I would love to pay for this. And guess what? Those are the kind of people I get, who are very happy, very willing to make that fair exchange. Yes? Because believe me, there are a lot of entitled freeloaders running around, and all of them, without exception, are big keyboard warriors here on YouTube, right? Thirdly, even then, it's no guarantee that I will take them on. I might just feel like, okay, that's not a good mix. So I might refuse. Do you see how that works? So I'm not just depending on omens. I am creating my own pathways and my own way to, separate the wheat from the chaff, as it were, and to take on quality people. I hope that answers your question. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it does, I don't know, but that's the way I operate. There are others who operate differently, and I don't even know. I'm kind of a bit of a lone wolf character because I don't belong to any group of sorcerers. I don't want to belong to any group of sorcerers. None of that holds any water for me. There are others who have their groups, and they're good luck to them. Fantastic. They're leading their lives. I am free to lead my life and choose apprentices the way I see fit. The apprentices themselves are broken gourds. That's not true. It's not true, and not true at all. You can, if you have enough know-how and education and training. Look, Don Juan had very specific requirements in his apprentices. Those requirements had to do mainly with propagating his lineage. He knew that he was one of the last, and then Carlos would be the last, right? So there was a whole other agenda going on. I don't have any such agenda. I couldn't care less about lineages, whether they live, die. I couldn't care. It's none of my business, and I don't even care. So my whole criteria is completely different than the crow's criteria or anyone. That doesn't mean am I putting myself in the same position as the crow in terms of qualification and power? No, not at all. Power dilutes over time. I will not be able to replicate even 10% of what the crow did. And the generations down the line from us, power dilutes. They will get less and less and less powerful. That's just how the law of fractalization, the law of unraveling works. This universe is based on the law of unraveling. I believe it's called entropy in science. Everything unravels over time and dissolves back into nothingness. Everything, it seems to start whole and complete, and then it has its own life journey, and that journey is a journey of unraveling. Each generation, power dilutes. The crow was nothing compared to just a few generations ago from his time. They, and then the seers of ancient Mexico, that's what you call power. I have not yet had any apprentice who I have felt is a broken gourd, because that just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. What can I do? It doesn't work like that. Everyone has a chance to, at the very least, become a better version of themselves. Can everyone become a warrior? No. Even the best of the best can fall by the wayside. But everyone must get that chance. You see what I mean? So I'd rather stay away from all these religious, in the Bible it says, Jesus has said that we should do this and we should do that. I couldn't care less. Others have their principles and criterias according to the gospel laid down by the Don Juan. I don't care about that. Okay. So next one, 5G. 5G. That is a whole topic. A whole topic. Let's answer some of your specific concerns here. If the natural human frequency is corrupted or manipulated, will it have a deleterious effect on everyone? That remains to be seen. Each time EMF technology has been unrolled on this world, starting with electricity, by the way, did you know Tesla was very much against the electricity that is used right now? It is very bad for health. However, the human body is so adaptive that after the initial spate of illnesses and deaths and discomforts and real troubles, it adapts, it evolves to accommodate that level of toxicity. So when electricity came on and candles were replaced, lamps, flame was replaced by electricity, there were many cases of that those generations suffered many, new diseases came in. Then radar came in. That's another increase in EMF. Electricity, dirt, this one, what we use is called dirty electricity, and there's a reason for that. It's a very interesting research topic. Radar came, again, there was a spate of pandemics and all sorts of things. Oh, pandemics and all that. Then came this, then came, so every time the level of EMF on this planet is increased, there's a whole spate of new illnesses that start arising. Now, 5G, I know that it will create a whole spate of illnesses. It will. However, there is, in my opinion, no way to stop this 5G unrolling onto this planet. There's no way. There's no way to do it. Whilst everyone else is under house arrest with their symbol of their slavery put upon them. Do you know how you don't just get one person, a DIY person, to rock on up and put a 5G tower up? It doesn't work like that. It's a whole team. You can't do social distancing when you're trying to put a 5G tower up. It doesn't work like that. You can't be spraying the 5G tower or anti-COVID or whatever nonsense. So how are they immune to that? They're not immune. They're immune to this whole thing. I would challenge any 5G staff to have been diagnosed with this scamdemic thing. I would challenge, I want to know if any 5G staff around the world, this is unrolled around the world, despite billions of people under house arrest. Food for thought. Now, you may believe it's not a scam, you may believe whatever. It's very similar to religion. It's a state-sponsored religion. Does God exist? Does the virus exist? Similar questions. Then the state has, tenets that it will enforce upon you, that the believers, those who believe must show us the signs of their beliefs, that they believe. Those who are compliant, all these kind of things. So is 5G dangerous for all of us? Yes, it is. Is it dangerous for warriors? First of all, there are few and far between warriors. And the genuine ones are so highly developed in their physicality that I personally don't see much of a challenge there for the warrior. The average man, yeah, well, good luck. The average man is always running on fumes anyway. So, good luck, and it remains to be seen. Basically, it behooves us to start on the warrior's path, at least, right? I did a video a long time ago called The Physicality of the Warrior. Go back and watch that video and allow it to raise your personal standards of what is healthy for you and what a warrior expects from their body, what level of quality, what level of qualification in terms of health. What is my lowest expectation of myself in terms of peak physical performance, and what is my highest expectation of myself in terms of peak physical performance? So that video will reorient you and help you to at least start on the path so that you don't have to, you feel confident that your body can take anything that is thrown at it. There are other things that make a warrior very confident about certain things like this, but those things are in the realms of unavailability to the average man. That's just the way it is. Let me know what you think about these. 5G is a hot issue at the moment, so I'm sure a lot of people will have a lot to say about it. Disagree, agree, it really doesn't matter to me. They're your thoughts. Put them down in the comments and be respectful. So with that, hope it answers your question. Walk in freedom, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.